identity of the person. It is the character and mind of the person.
True.
So the married woman is Srimati because she needs that super intelligence to take care of human resource. No,
no, that's very true, Anu, because when you talk about energies also in leadership, it's a balance of both male and feminine energies that are required, immaterial of what the gender of the leader is. When there's a balance of the masculine feminine energy, and Ardhanarishwara concept is again a very beautiful one. So there are many things so Indian, which now when they come from outside India is valued a lot more. So you're right, when you go back to the roots, and I'm sure in your journey of going back to the roots, finding these puppeteers, you must have had fascinating stories about meeting people who are still in the profession. And your journey has been a really beautiful one. You've given a lot of yourself. The world took a back step in the last 18, 20 months after the pandemic struck. How is it with puppeteering?
it's tough because there are no shows. See, our earnings came from the shows. To run this NGO, whatever money I got from the shows, I would put it in, I would do the festival. I got some help from the government, but now I don't have any finances coming in. One part. Second, the shows, in order for them not to be rusty, we are doing it online. We are trying to do a different presentation of the same show, but it is still not the same because we can't touch people the way we would with a live performance. And deep in the villages, people have become, see, the children have become auto drivers and they are doing puppetry part-time only. Even that does not exist now. Dhaatu was a major, what do you call, patron of puppetry. The temples are all shut down, so there is no income coming from there. And people who did festivals are not doing it, so puppeteers are not invited anywhere. So what happens, this was my thesis of senior fellowship about Ichanur Shaili puppet, which disappeared from the face of the earth. And I did a revival of that. And I wondered why. Why did this happen? So we have something caused by the previous Spanish flu, the pandemic. And pandemic came, took away lives of many puppeteers, 8 of the 10. And the only person surviving was so depressed that he didn't want to see the face of the puppets because it reminded him of his friends. And he put it in a box and it was in a Hanuman temple. And it stayed there 40 years as a stand for the Archaka to put his bell and Mangalarti tate. Then somebody, G. Paramshwaya, saw this, heard about it, took permission and took the puppets and put it in the Mysore Folklore Museum. My teacher, MR Ranganath Rao, kept telling me, oh, it's gone, it's such a nice thing, it's gone. I said, sir, let's go. One day I told him, sit in the car, we'll go, I'll drive. Went to Mysore and I was fascinated by these puppets. And did a revival of that, and then did shows of that. And all this story is backstory because Deccan Herald talked about the Ichanuru puppet, and Ichanuru Shanta called me saying, how did you take away my father's puppets? I said, no, I made replicas of them. Anyway, so we got this whole story about the pandemic happening at that time. And January 2020, my glass case got ready. I said I should display these puppets which have come with all the, and it took me this almost more than 100 years to get it back. And then they announced saying now everything is shut down because of a second pandemic. Now, what I understand from this is we should now protect knowledge. Material we can do. See, material can always come back. But when you lose knowledge of the material, if you lose knowledge of how to make it, the technique, the knowledge, the systems of music, and all of this, if it can be preserved in puppetry, yes, this is a tough time. Yes, nothing is happening, cannot happen, because art cannot happen if you're scared of the person next to you. If you feel awkward sitting in an auditorium, which is closed, art cannot happen. So where can I reach excellence with it. So what we can do is we can do knowledge preservation. We need to do that. And we need to think about how to go back. It is pretty much going back in time because we did the Ramayana display in Udupi during Yugadi just before the lockdown. And when I was driving back from Udupi to Bangalore, I saw a whole lot of open air theaters, small open air theaters. And that is what we need. See, we are a rain country, so there cannot be programs when there is rain. But if we can just somehow manage that, which is easier than anything else, which is less expensive, I think as a nation, we should do this. Otherwise, we lose out so much. We erode. And when we erode, it is loss. So we have to energize, we have to protect, and we have to come back in a modified manner. And we're just working towards this. We're working towards knowledge preservation recording. And the theater has been now converted into a studio. So we got a camera and we're just doing the recordings. And yeah, that's what, and waiting.
Okay. So you're